Hi, everybody, and welcome back to my channel, Knowledgeable Nurse. Today, I'm going to be interviewing the wonderful Yolanda. She happens to be one of my former students, and we're coming to you to talk to you about an interesting topic because Miss Yolanda is doing things a different way. So let's get into that. So,
Okay.
Yolanda, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'll start with I am a mother of two, 24-year-old and a 19-year-old, well, soon to be 19, soon to be 25. I am a wife of 18 years next month. We've been together for a long time. Since we were 16, we're both 46.
Wow.
Yeah, I've been a police officer for 23 years,
Mhm.
and it feels like a nursing student forever,
Yeah.
forever. Just feels like it's been forever because I've done it. As we go on, I'll explain to you. I've done it a lot as far as trying to educate myself and become a nurse.
Yes. So this is the part that interests me so much. This is why I wanted to interview you. So you
Okay.
are a cop
Yeah.
that wants to become a nurse.
Yeah.
Please tell me where that happened for you. When did you know what? I'm going to do nursing. What motivated that? What brought that on? Like, tell me the story, please.
Okay. So I wouldn't say it's like a huge difference between the two professions. Now,
Okay.
I was 21 when my best friend, her mother, had said, "Hey, because she was a police officer too. She said, "Hey, they're hiring. Let's do this. You guys have kids, and we both had sons, and both of our sons were cousins because we were dating brothers."
Wow.
but
Wow.
her mom, and then at the time, I think President Clinton had given the city that I work for a the money to say, "Hey, we need to hire more Black females." So
Okay.
I was part of it. Was called Cops Ahead Money. I was part of that program. I think a lot of Black female officers are a part of the program in that 1997, I think.
Okay.
97 I started. And it was like, okay, I have a son. He's 1, 2. I was 23. I became a police officer. I wanted to be a nurse. I actually started as a medical assistant when I was right after I had my son.
Okay.
And then I actually finished the medical assistant program, got into not necessarily the medical field, was working for an ambulance company.
Okay.
And then the police department called and they said, "Hey, we're done. We're done with your background. And if you want to start the academy," it was that June. You come on in. I'm like, okay, cool. We're gonna go. 'Cause at the time, it was just me, and we were not married. We weren't living together. So I was thinking about, okay, how I'm gonna support myself, how I'm
Yeah.
gonna support my son, and medical benefits, all these things. And it wasn't something that was far fetched for me. And I ended up enjoying being a police officer because you just meet people. It's not behind a desk. I don't like desk work. I
Mhm.
don't like being confined. I'm a people person. I just the correlation between the two
Yes.
is that will you come across different situations
Mhm.
where you have to wear many hats, and you wear many hats as a nurse and you wear many hats as a police officer. It's just that the danger part of the police officer comes in where you have to go into the danger, and the nursing part, it is dangerous because you're dealing with people you don't even know
Yeah.
coming off the street.
Yeah.
um you don't know, depending on where you are. I guess if you're in medicine, you don't know who you're dealing with. You don't know if you have a psych patient. You don't know if you have somebody who has an infectious disease. You don't know any of those things. So the danger is there for both. It's just in a different way. And for me, it's a little bit of adrenaline. I don't, like I said, I don't like a 9 to 5. I couldn't sit behind a desk all
Right.
day. My journey is interesting. It's real interesting.
Yeah.
Um, I just didn't I didn't do it the traditional way, straight out of school, then go to nursing school, and then have a career. No, I
Yes.
did it backwards.
Mhm.
Um, Kids, family. Well, not backwards. I did it the way I guess God intended it. That's how I
That's
look at it.
that's
That
true.
was that was His path for me.
Yes, exactly.
People ask me that. Why do you want to become a cop to nurse? Um, it's almost the same for me. it really is almost the same for me. It's just that you don't carry a gun when you're working as a nurse. You
Exactly.
don't carry a gun when you're working as a nurse, but you're still dealing with people. You're still asking the problems. You're still diagnosing what the situation is. You're still taking vitals in a different way. Your vitals are right there on that person, but when you're on the street, the vitals is what is the who, what, when, where, why, the
Yeah.
situation. That's the immediate vital right there, and from those vitals, you now have to know which way to take the patient and which way to take the complainant. And that's how it works for both of them. At least that's how I look at it.
You broke that down very well.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, because you helped me see that differently too. So thank you for that. That magnificent.
Thank you.
I'm telling you, magnificent. So what advice would you give to someone who is considering changing their career later on in life?
Well, I say always, if you're ready to change it, do it.
Yeah.
Research it, see if it fits who you are, because at the later in life, you are now more confident into who you are, especially for women. And I can speak for women.
Yeah.
We change so much in emotional, our hormones and all those things happen. So just make sure it's what you want. And usually when we change careers this late in life or later in life, it's usually, this is what you want to do. Especially if you are like, okay, what am I going to do next? So my kids are grown, but I actually started the nursing journey in 2013.
Mm-hmm.
And they were younger, and I was working full time and still, in nursing school and doing a day program. And it was hard. I would cry with tests, failing tests, and
Yeah.
you don't get that 75 or 76. That's a failing grade, and you fail that. That next test is going to make or break your whole thing.
Yes.
And just being stressed because I'm still a mom, I'm still a wife, I still have to take care of house, I still have to cook sometimes, I still have to, domestic responsibilities that even though I had my husband home, I still felt like it's my job to do certain things. I graduated in 2013.
Mm-hmm.
I started in 2011 at an associate's program. I graduated in 2013.
Mm-hmm.
And ATI, if all your newer students know, ATI is my albatross. That thing, you better know ATI
Yeah.
was what's the whoo. So we were allowed to graduate. We were allowed to get our degree. But they wouldn't send our verification of education to the board unless you got out of ATI and you got the score. And I always kept coming so short of it.
Wow.
It was infuriated me. And I gave up for a little bit, and then I came back to it. I got the live coach. I went through the live coaching. It still didn't happen, and I just gave up. But I still kept working in it here and there. The school called me back in 2018, 5 years later.
Wow. See, I'm telling you.
What'd you say?
I'm telling, because when the students I interviewed last week or 2 weeks ago,
Mm-hmm.
they just told us about their journey, and it seems like similarities are happening here. So that's one thing I do want to tell the audience, that just because it didn't happen right now doesn't mean it's not for you. It could just be, this is not your time.
It's not your time.
Keep going. Don't give up. If this is on your heart, if this is all you think about, please go after it.
It's not your
It's
time.
not your time right now doesn't mean it's not your purpose. You could
I promise you. It tore me up because I'm like, I got my degree. I haven't, like, come on, don't do this to me. And I purposely went associates because money and knowing that I'm already gainfully employed and I have a career, and now when I leave, I know my terms and I know what income I need to have, and this is just purely because I want to do it. But then she, when they called me back in 2018, and she said, well, I see that you're still working, and she's like, well, you can come back and not a refresher course. I had to do the whole course all over again. I just didn't have to do fundamentals.
Wow.
So she's like, oh, you can come through. Well, I went through and I failed again. And I'm thinking, why did I fail in this doggone course? And I already have the degree from this particular school. And I didn't have to pay for it. They told me I can come back, free on a scholarship, but I failed again. And so that whole year I was so mad at myself. Like, what is it? Is it the program? Is it me? And honestly, I think it's the program. I thought it was the program, and every nursing program is not the same. And I've not been to every one of them, but every nursing program, the integrity, the way that the instructors connect with the students, the demographic, and the teacher student demographic is not where it should be. And for me, I just didn't connect with anything. And I didn't fail out like I said, I had my associate's degree, but that when I went back, I did it too fast. I switched shifts too fast,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like a month, and I didn't give myself enough time because I was so adamant. I really wanted to get to it.
Mm-hmm.
So I just hummed and mummed, and the director said, "Well, why don't you try an LPN program?" And I looked at her. I'm like, LPN? Who? LPN? Like, I thought she was really giving me like, well, you can't be an RN. I thought that was the
Got
premise
to. Okay.
that she was trying to take with
Yeah.
me. And
Yeah.
I was taking kind of, I was looking at her like, what do you mean, lady? And she's like, just try LPN program. It's not to say that you can't do RN. It's to say that, I know your desire. And she didn't say this, but I'm going to say that she say this because, God was he
Yeah.
was working with me.
Yes.
He
Yeah.
was working with me. He was like, maybe she didn't mean it that way. Try it that she meant that this could be your end. You're not, the material. It's for some reason there's something that wasn't connecting. And I'm now enrolled in the LPN program, which, used to be my instructor. But and it's going pretty good. And it's not easy, but it is not hard. It's not as hard as the first time. And I'm more relaxed,
Mm,
less anxious over it. And I'm pretty sure I'll get my license. But I definitely believe this was just my journey,
mm.
even though it costs me too much. So mad. But if it's something I really know I'm supposed to do, for me, I'm done with police officers. Other than that, I have thought about becoming taking the test for a detective. That's up in the air. I don't know yet. I'm ready to retire though.
Okay.
I'm young.
Okay. I was gonna ask you. So, is that gonna be your plan? Like, you're just gonna retire from being a cop and just do nursing?
Yeah, well, I have my youngest is still in school, so she has like 3 years left.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, she has 3 years left. And when she's finished, I said I was going to really look at it because, it comes down to contract and your age versus your years on and so on and so forth. And then when would be a good time to retire? Because it's all about your retirement money and everything you get and, you know, continuing your lifestyle after you finish or after you do retire. And medical benefits, all that plays a part in it. Yeah, we have really good medical plan, and I don't want to leave it. So,
Blame you? I don't blame you at all.
but I thought about, when I do get my license to work per diem on my days off. So I have high hopes for hopefully. I know a lot of places won't hire LPNs in those capacities. I'm hoping it's, maybe somebody who's hiring might see this and be like, hey, if you get your RN within 2 years.
You better advertise yourself. Come on now. Come on. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I have so much experience with people, and I also come built-in security.
What a word. Look. Your
Built-in
resume,
security.
everything. Yes.
Yeah, being a police officer these days definitely it ain't easy
Yeah.
at all. And a African American police officer, yeah, it's very hard. It's a fence. It's a really high fence
Yeah.
because you now have to, what it feels like to be an African American, in this days and times, but you also know what it feels like to be law enforcement. So I'm on this side and I'm on this side. So we don't have a loyalty. There's not per se a loyalty, but there's just a right and a wrong.
Yeah.
And you can't live on that fence, as they say, because that's that gray area. So it's really hard. It's hard these days. It's really hard these days. But I feel like I'm not thinking about retirement because of that. I'm thinking about retirement because I'm old. I'm getting old. Honestly, the change or just doing this again is emotionally draining sometimes, because when I hear these terms and I hear the lectures and I'm like, I heard this so many times before and I'm doing this again. Ugh.
Yeah.
And I just like, okay, God, okay, God, okay, God, okay, God, help me through, okay, okay, God. And then my husband be like, Yolanda, listen, you're almost done this program. It's not like you're struggling. It's right there. So just stay with it. I'm like, I know, but what if I get through this and I can't get out of ATI again? And I don't know what I would do if I don't get out of ATI, which I say is my albatross, and that's my cross that I'm walking with, a bear, and I feel like it. But if I don't get out of it, I don't know what I would do. I honestly don't know what it is. I don't feel like I won't. I'll say that. I'm less anxiety, more confident about getting out of it this time than before. But I don't know. I might just like, you know what? I guess it's not for me. No, I'm not. I'll probably still keep going. I'll probably still keep going. Some way, form, or fashion. I'm gonna be somebody nurse. Even if I have to put a nurse tag on and walk around my house, I'm gonna be somebody nurse.
Right. I know that's right. You speak that, you claim it, and you receive it. Like that's it.
Yes, I'm claiming it. I got to.
Come on out. Come on. Come
I'm
on.
claiming it.
No, that's right. So before we leave this audience, can you just give the students out there just one word of encouragement or just
Okay, so I'm gonna give the encouragement. It's gonna come, but I have to give a little. And
gotcha.
my is, if you are a student and you are young and you've not had a lot of college, or you're just starting it, be open to understanding that everything is not going to be handed to you. You have to look in other places to get the knowledge. Your books are not the only places to get your knowledge. Your books are not the only place to get. Now, you, as much as this day and age, the kids like my son's age and my daughter's age have come up. They come up in the community age. So some things I'm like, well, how did you get this? And where did you find? Oh, mom just log on, blah blah blah. Now I'm not computer illiterate, but they've got more. They have more of a okay, this is what we do, or more accessibility.
Yes.
And knowledge of it. The encouragement is this. I know school costs a lot of money. And whether it's your parents that are handling it or you are handling it, all ages, just keep going. If it's in your heart, to do it, just keep going. Because I know I've been defeated, and it feels like you've been defeated. It feels like, this is just not going to happen. But don't let that stop you, because if everybody who had a dream let what the obstacles get in their way stop them, we wouldn't have anything. We wouldn't have civil rights movement. Come on now. We wouldn't have any of the progresses that we've had in anything, any medical field, or shoemaking, anything you want to think of that have transgressed into easier things or new things. Those people didn't give up. So don't give up on yourself, because you'll be giving up on yourself. And if you have children, you're giving up on your children. You're giving up on all of your support system that's been there with you. So think about their, push behind you, their love for you, their encouragement for you. And if you got somebody in your corner, keep them people in your corner. And all the naysayers that tell you, like, well, maybe you should do this, shut them people out the door. Put them out the door. Close it and lock it. Don't let them back in until you finish. Okay? Keep your positive people, and always pray. If you are a praying person, pray. But yeah, pray to, whoever you pray to, whoever your, higher power is. Definitely, get back into that if you've gotten out of it. And if you don't believe, you don't believe. I don't judge anybody, but don't give up on yourself. Just don't give up on yourself. That's all.
Thank you so much, Yolanda. I really appreciate you spending
You're
a little
welcome.
bit of time with us. And the
Hmm.
main goal of my channel is just to educate people more about nursing and also encourage my nursing students because I fell in love with my nursing students, especially 'cause I
Oh,
remember how it was to be a nursing student. And
yes.
to now that YouTube offers this opportunity, I want nursing students to know like you can do this. If I did this, me,
Yeah. Yeah.
you most definitely could do this.
Yeah.
You most
Yeah.
definitely do this. So
And
I provide people with that.
I've seen some folks become nurses that, I'm scratching my head like, how? So, and I'm sure you have a lot of colleagues that can say the same thing, like,
That's
how
neither here
did
nor
you
that's nor here nor there.
what in the but that's the real world.
It
That's with anything. Like, how did you become a doctor? How did you become a cop? How did you become a mother? Like, you're just, what happened? What? Okay. So if you look at those people, you're like, wait, if she can do it, I know I can do it. I know I can do it. Or if he can do it, I know I can do it. And not to say you're better than anybody. I
No.
don't want that to come across. But if you know someone, and let's say you're sharper, you could be just sharper in picking things up. If you know that you're sharper in picking up things, and that person has the ability to practice, yeah, you can do it. Yeah, you can do it. Definitely can do it. So, I say just rock out. Just
Yeah.
keep it going. Just rock out. You
Yeah.
know, and be yourself. You better be yourself.
Come on. Come on. Come on.
Uh-huh. Be yourself.
Yes.
All right. All right.
Yes. Okay,
All
we're
right.
gonna
All
stop.
right.
We're gonna
All
stop.
right.
It's too much. It's too much. It's
You
too
know
much.
how they say at church, girl, stop. Girl, don't you start.
We're gonna
Don't
have
you
whole church. And they're
we'll
not ready. They're not ready. They're not
we ain't
ready.
ready. We ain't ready. I'm gonna bring it in. I'm gonna bring it in.
Guys, thank you again.
Yes,
Thank you
ma'am.
for watching. Thank you, Yolanda, for coming on.
No
And
problem.
you guys will probably be seeing Yolanda again. I'll probably be interviewing her for something else. So
Sure.
ready to see girlfriend again. She'll be back.
Yes.
And I'll see you guys soon with a new video. All
Cool,
right.
cool.
Bye.